Okay guys, I think the problem with the flashers from that previous video was I didn't have a good connection on one of these wires back in here.
Me and the boys were sitting around drinking, we was talking about things that we was thinking, when all of a sudden what comes out of Bill's mouth? Said I'm getting old and fat and slow, and I don't recover like I did before from nights of rabble, rousing and too much fun. Well, I looked around and we all agreed, and I had a drink and I ordered 3, and I staggered back to do it all again. And we made an oath on a rum and coke with the best intention, I'm sure you know, that we would stop this living in excess. We're gonna have one more party, one more special occasion. Do it Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, holidays and weekends. We can have one more party. There's more hell we should be raising. One more party now, one more party tonight.
And I think it was this one here, this light green one. But now I got it plugged back in. It seems like it has a good connection and it's working. So now my next step, I need to wire up the USB ports that I put on my cup holder. So I strung a wire underneath the rubber mat there, and I'm going to connect it into this fuse that I'm tying into the back side of the instrument cluster, and that is all switched power. So I've tested that already with the light. So now all I have to do is put another connector onto this end of the wire, and then put a ground to, I think I'm going to do that down on one of those bolts down there. Probably not a very good light to see it, but oh, there we go. I took that nut off. I don't know if you guys can see it, but right about there. And I'm gonna ground to that bolt. Then I'm gonna string that power through there. Then I need to take these 2 bolts out, and I want to put connectors on it so that I can easily disconnect it and take the cup holder out at some time in the future if I need to, or if I need to get into the transmission. I want to be able to still access it all. But I'm going to crimp on some butt connectors and we'll see if this all can work. Okay, I got it all screwed in underneath there, and before I go any further, I want to test the circuit to make sure that everything is working. Have to turn the power on, which I don't. Power's on. It's tough to do one-handed, but let's give this a try here. No, I can't even touch this stuff. Come here. Okay, what's going on? I seen a light before. Something is jiggled loose. I can't do this one-handed. Okay, guys. There, now it's working. Now that I can hold this thing on here tight. But there you have it. I got power down here when the switch is on. So I'm going to turn this off and cut this wire a bit shorter so I can hook up the USB ports. Alright, turn the power on. Got the 2 wires plugged in. And there's the power button. Alright, we got USB power. Woohoo! Okay, that means I think I can put the dash back together. So I'll get that put back together and then we'll see how she works. Alright guys, I got the nuts started and I got a washer in place. You guys might be asking yourself, well, how do I get that washer to stick like that? up there right next to the cab, so it doesn't fall off onto the floor every time you try to try to put the nut on. Well, here, I'll show you in a second. So what I did was I used a couple of these pretty strong magnets to hold on to it. There. Between those two magnets, I was able to hold on and get the nuts started. Now I just got to figure out how I'm going to tighten them down. Well, I've had a bit of a blowout, so the bottom of the thing, when I was trying to tighten it up, kind of broke out. So now I'm going to have to try something new. So I printed off a couple mounts, and I'm thinking I'm going to try to just do a compression, fitting in there, and see if I can't just stuff that, onto those mounts. We'll see how that works. Alright, this hole blew out pretty nice, but this one did not. So I'm going to take the Dremel and try to clean those edges up a little bit more so that the plugs will slide in a little bit easier. Okay, now the plug fits in there pretty good. Now I need to mount these to the floor of the truck so that I can slip this in place and try to get it to hold in there. And I don't know if this is snug enough, but we'll see once I get it in, because it might be something where a little bit of an angle will give it plenty of friction to hold it steady. Okay, so I put in a couple mounting studs now. These things are in here solid, and the plastic is darn near solid too, so I don't think these studs will ever break out. So now there we need to rewire up this USB port, and let's set it back on there. Okay, that's wired back up. Now I just got to stuff them things back in, and then we'll put it back on. Alright, the plugs kind of line up really well with the holes on the bottom now, so it should just be, there we go, all mounted back in. Now I just need to make sure that all this stuff works. Let's see what we can do here. Key. Of course, this is tough to do one-handed. I know I got a key here somewhere. There it is. Power. Woohoo! It works. Alright, there we have it. Now I got a charger, cup holder that's in there pretty sturdy. It ain't going anywhere. I don't know, maybe I need to dress it up a little bit around the edges, but as for now, it's sitting right where it's supposed to be. Then I have me a little speaker that I put in here, since this thing is a radio delete car. And I can charge it right from here. Right from there. There we go. Cup holder's in place. And the soda stop cup fits in there quite well. Alright. Now I'm ready to go to town. Okay guys, I went for a little test drive with the Garmin to see what the speedometer was versus what the Garmin says my speed was. And it's dead on right around 20. At 40, well, to do 40 miles an hour, the speedometer needs to read somewhere around 41. And to go 60 miles an hour, it has to be closer to 62 or 63. So that just means that the tires on the truck right now are probably a little shorter. You know, not the big as big a circumference as the original, but everything seems to be within reason, at least. And after driving it a few miles, it seems to be running pretty good, keeping cool, keeping charging. Oil pressure's still there, so I think I'm in pretty good shape.
Me and the boys was sitting around drinking, we was talking about things that we was thinking, when all of a sudden what comes out of Bill's mouth? Said I'm getting old and fat and slow, and I don't recover like I did before from nights of rabble, rousing and too much fun. Well, I looked around and we all agreed, and I had a drink and I ordered 3, and I staggered back to do it all again. Then we made an oath on a rum and coke with the best intention, I'm sure you know, that we would stop this living in excess. We're gonna have one more party, one more